everyone, welcome to Kelsey's Kitchen. My name is Kelsey and I'm going to be your guys' host. Tonight we're going to be making a meat pasta with Alfredo sauce. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with the meat to enhance the flavor, because sometimes when you cook it in the stir fryer and then the grease soaks up all the spices, it can be kind of bland. So we're going to make the meat into little strips so that way it savors some of the flavor, you know, when you beat it into the meat. And then we'll cook it and then the noodles and sauce separate. So when we put everything together, it'll each have its own enhancement of flavor. So, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys is the ingredients. The items that you're going to be needing is some ground beef, steak seasoning, pepper, parsley, garlic salt, Alfredo sauce. You can use any brand. I just like the Ragu because it's the cheapest. Egg, noodles, and if you want to make something on the side, I always get some vegetables. For on the side, just do steamed vegetables. Also, for the ingredients, if you guys want to add a little something to make it more nutritious, you can put some different types of vegetables in there. So we're also going to use mushrooms and spinach, but you definitely can make the recipe without them and it still tastes just as good. The items we're going to be using to prepare our meal tonight is going to be a pot for boiling water for the noodles. And then if you're doing steamed vegetables on the side, you have another pot. And then if you have one at home, these are really helpful, the little strainers. You just put them in here, put water in the bottom with the lid on top, and it steams it in the pot really nice. Makes it a really fresh tasting feeling. And then you're going to need a skillet for the meat, as well as a bowl to grind and mix all the seasonings and meat together, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is prepare the meat. So go ahead and if you get like a big one like this, I like get the bigger ones because they're usually cheaper and you get more. And what we'll do is we'll take about half of this, and this is 3 pounds. So we're just going to take half of it and use that to make the meat, and then the other half you can just cook up on the side and save it to make tacos or something later on the week when you don't feel like cooking. So once you've got all of your meat in the bowl like this, we're half of the meat, remember? Then we're going to take just 2 eggs and crack them into the bowl with the meat. Once you've cracked the eggs into the bowl, you can go ahead and start with the first seasoning, which is going to be the Monterey steak seasoning, okay? So we're just going to put some in here with the meat. Just however much you think. Just make sure you don't put too much. And you can always add more later, so less is more. Then we're going to add garlic salt. And parsley. And then black pepper. Now once you've done all this, go ahead and just take your fingers and mush everything together. Mix the seasonings and the egg and the meat. And this is really going to leave the flavor into the meat, and the egg later when we put it into strips is going to help with everything sticking together. Once your consistency is all even with the meat, and it seems to be sticking together pretty well, see I can ball it up nicely. Now we're going to start making the strips. So just pull out, you know, a little bit, maybe like a little handful here, and then just flatten it out and just make kind of, you know, however you want to do them. If you want to do little square ones, if you want to be fun and creative, you can even like, you know, try to make Mickey Mouse heads or something. I don't know. But you're going to make little strips like this. See how it all sticks together? And then we're just going to put them in the pan. Okay, once you have your stirring fry pan full, it should look kind of like this. We have our little strips of beef. As you can see, we still have meat left. We'll do another round after we finish the first one. So we're just going to go ahead and turn on the stove and put it like on medium high. and then get those going and make sure you flip them over. They're cooked all the way through. When they're done, you can just put them on a plate off to the side and start with the next batch. So while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and start putting water in our other stuff for our side dishes. For the first one, or actually for the one for the steamed vegetables, you're going to put 3 cups of water. And then the one for the noodles, you're going to put about 6 cups of water. Once you've done that, go ahead and pour your vegetables into the pot with the straining pot and put the lid on top, and then you can put that on high. It usually takes the vegetables a while to steam, especially if you're doing broccoli and you want them to be real soft. So we're going to start that, and then we're also going to start boiling the water for the noodles, because to save on dishes, I'm going to use the same pot to make the sauce that's going to go on top. So we're going to go ahead and start boiling the water for the noodles as well. So once you have both your waters boiling and started up, we're going to check back on the meat here and see if they need to be flipped. Alright, so you can kind of see how it's browning on the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and take them and turn them over. Now, while our meat is cooking and the water's boiling, I'm just going to talk to you guys for a minute about the charity that I am somewhat sponsoring. The name of it is Project Angel Food. If you go onto my website, www.insidekelseyskitchen.com, there is a donation page where you can click on it, and there's a button at the bottom that'll take you to a PayPal page, and you can enter the amount, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the foundation to deliver homemade meals to critically ill patients. There's also a whole section in my blog page. There's an article that explains what the organization does, when they were founded, who opened it, and some of their projects they've done over the year. So you can look at that, and then if you guys want to donate, that would be really awesome. And then also one last thing, I just wanted to let you guys know, a reminder to keep updating. I keep updating my blog, sorry. So whenever you guys, get bored or whatever, you can go to my website and look up the different articles I have. And if you guys have any questions about anything, there's a place on my website in the contact information. You can send me a message. I also have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so feel free to leave any comments or suggestions on there as well. Thank you guys for your time, and so let's get back to checking on that meat. Alright, so I'm looking at the meat, and both sides seem to be browned pretty well here. So I think our first batch is done. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on a plate off to the side. Another quick little tip is when you take the beef pieces off to set them off to the side, see these are the finished ones, I always like to put a paper towel over your plate, because that way you can blotch up some of the grease before you mix it in with the pasta. Okay, now that we have our next batch started, and it looks like our water is boiling over here, we're going to go ahead and put the noodles into the water. Another quick tip for you guys, I always buy the whole grain pastas instead of the regular white pasta, and the reason I do this is because the whole grain pasta has a better source of fiber, and the whole wheat is also better for your energy, for your bones, and it has lots of vitamin B and other important things like copper and magnesium and other minerals that are really healthy for your body to intake. So go ahead and stir your noodles and check on your vegetables if those need to be stirred around a little bit as well. And now we're going to move on over back to the meat. Again, you can kind of see they're brown on the bottom and they're nice and cooked on one side, so we're going to flip them all over. Once your noodles are done and you've taken them out of the bowl, put them aside, you should have a bowl ready to go. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is start making the sauce. So the first thing you're going to do is just take your Alfredo sauce and dump it into the pot. Next, we're going to add in our mushrooms and our spinach as well. Depending if you guys really like mushrooms or not, you can always add more, but I do about 2 handfuls. And we're going to do the same thing for the spinach, just another 2 handfuls. Once you've done that, go ahead and turn on the stove and put it at about a 4, so kind of in between medium and low. Okay, once everything's ready, we have our meat browned and ready to go. We also have our sauce ready to go. And last but not least, your noodles. And then when you guys are ready, just put it all together and you got yourself a really good pasta with some steamed vegetables on the side. I hope you guys enjoyed our show tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.